morning, good afternoon, good evening, friends. Hello. Hello. There's a fan on in the background. Sorry if it's too loud. Hi, we're back. I've missed you all. Aurora, thank you so much for the resub. Hi, Kat. Sleepy Landing is lurking. Hello, friends. Yay. It feels so good. So good to be back. So good to be here. I hope you are doing well. I'm in a good mood. I have a little bit of a headache, but I don't care. I'm just so excited to be back and to work on some fun new things with you guys. It feels like forever. Although I guess it's only been like what? 3 weeks? 3.5 weeks? It's been alright. But still, I feel like it's been a whirlwind. Nice. Luckily, the last few days have been super chill, but like fun and relaxing all at the same time. You read so many books. Oh, wow. And you already crush books even when I'm not, even when I'm around. You crush through all the books, Kat. That's wild. Well, we are back today. Back for 2 weeks. It's going to be good. We have a mission now. Our mission, should we choose to accept it, is we're making a dress. I bought this pattern ages ago, and then my parents arrived, and my mom and my aunt picked out a fabric for us. So we got this nice shiny forest green color. It's actually like shiny with little matte like spots on them, but then you can flip it the other way and have it be matte with like shiny spots on it. So we'll have to figure out when we go to actually do the cutting which side we want to be the right side and which side we want to be the wrong side. But we're not there yet. I think today is gonna majority be cutting out the pattern itself and just reading what the hell we're gonna be getting ourselves into, because I've never done this before. The only thing I remember, so I I took sewing lessons when I was a kid, and I quit because I thought that the sewing teacher was mean. But we were making quilts, like a log cabin quilt, so that was very straight, flat, two-dimensional. I've not made a garment that I could wear. The only other situation that kind of gives me some level of knowledge is I remember helping my mom make my Halloween costume one year, and I helped sew the sleeves. I have a memory of helping to sew these sleeves on this medieval princess gown that I requested to be for Halloween one year. You need to sit down and figure out how to sew. Yeah. Oh, is it the snitch quilt? Snitch quilt. That's what it's called, right? Yeah, the golden snitch, the snitch quilt. I don't know why it sounds like I'm trying to say stitch, but it's not. But yeah, is that the one you're talking about? Maybe we'll learn some skills together that can be universally applied. But so I didn't go completely into this blind. Yeah, I know you had mentioned that you sort of were a bit bittersweet about the whole situation. Yeah, I wonder what you could probably adapt it to something. I think you could just probably stick a smiley face on it, and then it just kind of looks like a floating smiley head with wings. Do you know what I mean? But yeah, I don't know. You tried to find a crayon dress for a theme. Oh, really? Oh, was it? Yeah. That's true. Celestial theme, so you could do a star, definitely. That sounds really cool. But yeah, that satin, yeah. Apparently this is polyester. I already asked my mom. I messaged her today being like, should I have washed this fabric before we started? And she's like, nah, it's polyester. Don't worry about it. So I'm like, okay. So yeah, because you know how normally I like to go into projects blind, and then what happens sometimes is we go, oh, whoops, we can't continue. So I did actually go over stuff. Some of these things we don't have, but it sounds like we don't need all of them. Because I learned, so this came in the pattern, and it said, okay, these are the supplies that you need in addition to your fabric, your facing, and your elastic and your thread. So I'm like, okay, Pinking shears, we do not have. We do not own. I had to Google today what a pinking shear is. Apparently, it's kind of like, you know when you get, like, I don't know if you guys ever got into scrapbooking, but I went through a phase with my family when we were really into scrapbooking. It's basically like jagged edge scissors that, you know, when you scrapbook, you would make like a funky edge on your photo, but this is to cut at a jagged edge on fabric that apparently frays really easily. So I just learned that today. I don't actually know if we're gonna need those. I don't have them. So hopefully this fabric doesn't fray. We have regular sharp scissors. We got our fabric scissors and we got our regular all-purpose scissors because we're gonna be cutting up pattern pieces. Adhesive tape. I got some. I didn't know if we needed to use clear or masking. Masking probably seems like the best. A sewing gauge. I thought I had one. I don't know if that matters yet. I don't think we're going to be sewing for the next few days, so I'm hoping it doesn't matter. I have like this mini sewing kit in here, and for some reason I thought there was a sewing gauge in here, but there isn't. There is a seam ripper though, and I have a feeling we might need this a lot. Or a little, or still. But yeah, so we got those. We got safety pins. We got regular pins on my very fun bee cushion. Yeah. The seam ripper is your best friend. Yeah, truly, truly. It honestly, it is essential. The other thing too here that we don't have is washing carbon and a tracing wheel, which I guess is a way that you can like trace your pattern onto your fabric without like using marker or anything like that. So obviously we don't have that, but I think it'll be fine. And we have a measuring tape and a ruler, and we have a water soluble marking pen. So we have the water soluble pen, but we also have like a dressmaking pencil, and I'm hoping that because the fabric is dark, the pencil will show up on it, because I don't know, I guess this will be a garment that will be washed, so it'll be fine, but I find I've used this pen before, and even if you water it to remove it, it's like if you don't, I don't know, I just find it comes back. It comes back. That's why I had a felting project I was working on, and I used it to trace out the felting on some lighter fabric. And even if I like wet the fabric to get rid of the marker, eventually it just seems to come back. And so I don't really want to have to use it if I don't have to. But again, this will get washed, so I think it'll be okay, because it'll be like washed with soap and water and whatever, versus me just like dabbing it with water and hoping for the best, you know what I mean? But yeah, and some sewing needles. So I got all of these super sharp sewing needle bad boys, which are different from needle felting and embroidery needles, though this one is full of glue, probably because we used it in our miniature making. Whoops. But that's fine, we still have a bunch to choose from. I also have a rotary cutter. I don't know if we'll need it. I assume we do, because it'll be nicer than just cutting out the fabric with scissors. We'll see. And then yeah, we got this ruler that's got like grippies on it. My mom bought it for me the last time they were here because yeah, it'll help keep it secure on the fabric, hopefully. So we will see. Yeah. But I think without further ado, I also think too, so I pushed you guys really far back. We might have to push you back even more, because I have a feeling that this is going to be like a taking up the whole table project, potentially. But we'll go from there. So I guess we should move all of the non-essentials out of the way right now. And go from there. So we don't need these. We don't need these. We don't need these yet. I think we just need these scissors for now. But we'll keep this base here. Because, thankfully, I think this pattern has just like a small, medium, large, so I don't have to do any like exact measurements. I think you can to like amend stuff afterwards, but I sort of like, I don't know, they put the sizes on here and I'm like, this one. So we're gonna do that, and just hope for the best. I have to send 314 emails today. No, I don't, that's a lot. That's rude. That's a rude amount of emails. I don't know why, but it just is. To be fair, like, it sounds really bad, but I'm really bad at that too. I don't have to send that many. I have to send like 10 messages to different people, and I still am not. I'm still not. Yeah. Mm-hmm. Yep. It is a lot. It's because, oh, right. Mm-hmm. Yeah. So it piles up. Yeah, I've done that probably many a time in my life. That sucks though. It's that double-edged sword where you're like, I don't want to do it because it's stressing me out, so I'm going to put it off, and now it's even bigger stress because there's more. But I believe in you. I believe you can do it. I believe you can. We'll send you all of our adulting energy so that you can accomplish this, because I know it's a lot. It's the last one ever. Oh man. That sounds. Ew. That's like number thingies and whatever. Yeah, I don't know what's up with Panda. Why was he crying? Is it because he's sad? He needs love. Good job, Aurora. Thank you for taking care of him. Half the time I don't even know what's going on with him. I think because I turned off all of the messages where he like alerts you every 5 seconds for stuff, and I'm just like, we'll just figure it out. He was hungry. Amazing. Okay. So, we are making, apparently, which is funny. So this is dress A, this is dress B, and this is dress C. But there is a D method. Of course there is. Because this one actually I didn't realize actually has a tie waist, whereas D has an elastic waist. And I think that's what we're gonna try to, that's what the goal is. We're gonna try to do that one. So there's multiple components, I think. Again, I've never cut out pattern pieces. I don't really know what I'm doing. I have an idea-ish. So I think step 1, size and pattern. Figure out what that is. And then these are the Spanish instructions, which we don't need because we do not speak Spanish, so we can stick those in there. Saul, thank you so much for the resub. Hello, sir. How are you? I hope you're keeping as cool as possible in this heat wave. We got a fan on. Luckily, there was a bit of a breeze today, so we had a bit of airflow happening. I just didn't want you guys to hear the sound of the highway, so we closed the door. But yeah, we are about to embark. We're about to start. We're about to embark on a quest, a dressmaking quest. But yeah, so we need to figure out. So we're doing dress letter B. Oh, right? I know, right? Whatever. Yeah, we know what our sewing supplies are. So step 1, step 2. So far, step 3. So we know there's gonna be 5 pattern pieces allegedly. Yes. 1, 2, 4, because we're not doing a belt. So 4 pattern pieces. Cool. We got our sewing supplies. Okay, check. Now we need to select your size and pattern pieces. So we decided on the size. We're going to do the medium one. I know, right? You've been doing other things. There's so many streamers, so little time. But, you know, I also not being funny too. To be fair, I did try to have some sort of a social media presence for the last, like, 3 weeks. That doesn't help if you're not on social media. But the other thing too is I'm just terrible at keeping up to date with anyone when I'm like busy doing stuff, when I'm visiting with people, like whether that be like online friends, IRL friends, long distance friends. Like I've not talked to anybody for a while, or I do in like little snippets, you know what I mean? So I hope you guys are not offended, because I'm crap at keeping tabs on anyone. So yeah, I know. It's true. It's true. Yeah. But yeah, I tried my best. I tried to keep up my commitments. Sometimes they just fell to the wayside, but I do try. But yeah, no, it's good. Right now, you were just thank you. Thank you. I know it's one of those where, cause it's really funny. Because I'm really bad at remembering to take photos. And that's what happened. So I just kind of wait. And that's actually another reason why it's nice when my family comes to visit, because I just get, like, less so I've, like, taken, like, one photo, whatever, like, for the Instagram or whatever, but usually I update my profile photos based on the photos that my parents have taken and tagged me in, because I just forget. But yes, I did take that video of Shadow, and I finally posted it the other day. Guys, if you've not been on Shadow's Instagram in a hot minute, I did post something new there recently, but he's currently lying on the sofa. Listen, I don't know, okay, everyone with dogs, how do you keep your dog cool when they are just suspicious of everything? Because Shadow is sus about his paddling pool. We bought him a, like, cooling mat to go on top of a blanket, because he sleeps on the blanket. We're like, cool, he can lay on top of this. We stuck it on the sofa yesterday, and I even hid it. I hid it underneath his blanket, and he jumped on the sofa to go lie down and just, like, couldn't sort himself out. Cooling towel. We did get a cooling bandana. So far, that is the only cooling apparatus that he will tolerate, because he's used to us, like, putting a cool kind of, like, towel or something on his back. But yeah, like, we're just sitting there being like, bro, we are trying to keep you cold. You are a big black dog. Like, these are cooling things for you. And he's like, I'm sus. Immediately sus. Like, I had the cooling, it's like one of those kind of gel coolie mats or whatever. And so I stuck it under his blanket thinking, oh, whatever, like, he'll figure it out. And then he spent the entire evening walking past it, strategically avoiding his blanket because it was underneath it. Because it felt weird. So I'm like, fuck it, me and Liam are going to use it. I'm like, it's this big cooling mat that you lay on and it makes you feel cooled down. I'm like, sign us up. We will use it if you're not going to. Yeah. Exactly, right here. I'll show you guys. I'll show you what it is. It's like this big water gel mat. And yeah, you don't have to, like, stick it in the fridge or whatever, but it just is like, yeah, it's nice and cool. And he steps on it and is like, immediately no. I have a photo of him, I want to post it later, of him, like, lying beside it. And I'm like, dude, this will cool. So it's nice. It feels really good right here. So, like, I'm just gonna lay on it probably all summer because it's expected to get cooler. So yeah, sploots on the tile floors. Yeah, definitely. I've heard that too. Shadow will do that as well. It's true. Yeah, yeah. It's not a punishment. To be fair, I've had tons of, I don't know, I'm just excited. I'm excited. I feel like I'm all over the place, but it's because I've missed you guys and I'm really happy. And yeah, things are just good, man. The other thing too that I've also recently rediscovered, which is kind of good but not good because it's been so freaking hot, is because one of the things my parents, well, my mom specifically loves to do is garden. And so Liam and I have been in the process of, like, trying to reclaim our garden, and, like, because we inherited a garden that was very overgrown. And so it's gotten to the point where we've had to make decisions of, like, okay, what do we cut back? What do we want to remove? What do we want to have, right? But of course, we don't really know any of these things. I don't know a lot about gardening. I just love to prune. Guys, I freaking love squaring shrubs. So I love getting the big scissors out and just hacking away at a bush and making it square. It's the most satisfying feeling in the world. And I also think, too, it's easier to make a square shrub than it is to, like, make a circular shrub. I don't know. But yeah, so this is a thing where I just love hacking back bushes. You can misconstrue that if you want. I mean the actual nature plants, but, you know, whatever. But yeah, no, it's so much fun. And so my parents, like, before they went off to Italy, they were like, okay, there's specific areas that we need to sort of focus on, like what we're gonna pull out and what we don't want anymore and whatever. But of course it's been getting really hot, so, but yeah, we, like, went and cut back a bunch of these trees, and there's another tree that, like, I didn't even know had flowers on it, and now it's flowering. And then my mom recommended we download this app. It's called Seek. So it's It's by this like brand called iNaturalist, which I guess is like a pay for app, but this is like an app that then you can scan species and then it'll tell you things about the plants and stuff and about like other animals and things. Because of course the other thing about my mom that you need to know is that she loves a badge, she loves a medal, she loves an award. So anytime she can get like a tick box or an achievement, like she loves that shit, right? So she found this because she wanted to be able to identify the plants that we had in our garden. Because we always find that a lot of those kinds of like scanny apps don't work, but this one seems to be not bad, and they give you like the genus and the species, and then if you want to, you can then go off and do more research on your own about like what they are. And so yeah, so it's been interesting. So today, basically we have in our front yard, we have sort of 3 patches. So we have our, I don't know, like a strip here, we have a circle, and then we have something at the front. And so each of those sections has their own shit going on with it. Basically, we had in this part of the garden, in like the back part, there was this like little evergreen shrub that was just getting completely swallowed up by all the other overgrown bushes and stuff. And so my mom decided it would look really nice in this center circle that we have, because there's really only a plant there, and then it could have another plant there. It looked really nice. So we had to do like Operation Transplant this tree. And so I have very strict instructions to make sure that I water this plant at least twice a day in hopes of being able to like survive it, right? Because we've moved its body and it was so intermixed with all the other like roots and stuff like that that we have no idea like if we, you know, what roots we took with it and if we took enough roots, and I don't know. So we'll see. So I'm like, okay, I'm gonna make sure this little guy survives. And then because everything was sort of overgrown and stuff, we had all of these pebbles in the back garden that were pissing me off. I hated them. They made me really mad. So I then decided I wanted to take all of these pebbles out of this garden bed, and they just lived in a wheelbarrow that was too heavy to move for forever. Because I said, oh, it'll probably look really nice in the circle in the front garden, because that kind of has pebbles, but they're like small, and again, everything's overgrown, like nothing. Basically, like all of the stuff that was put in, like 15 years ago for like weed prevention and like grass and like just to manage the garden, that's all gone to shit, right? Because it's just so overgrown, like everything's taken over. So we've been trying for many years now to kind of call back and make decisions what we're gonna do. So anyway, so basically this is a roundabout long ass way of me saying I filled in all of the rocks that I took from the back garden and put it in the circle in the front, and now it looks real cute. And I'm quite proud of myself. And it feels nice to be, like, reclaiming the yard. And it feels good. It feels more accomplishing to me to sweat it out gardening than it is to, like, go to a gym. Because I don't like that. And and again, I think the other thing, too, is because I'm like, it's so hot out, I'm going to be sweating regardless. Because I'm the type of person that my brain goes, well, if I'm constantly working out and sweating, that means I also need to shower every day, and showering for me takes it's like a 20-minute ordeal. I can't do a fast shower to save my life. And then I just see the amount of time of the day it takes up, and so I just don't bother. But yeah. So I'm like, I can justify sweating and stuff because then I'll have this like really nice achievement at the end, which is like a nice yard. You know, I'm sure, yeah, I get that there's lots of health benefits to, like, working out and sweating and the, you know, whatever, and I'm sure my internal organs thank me and stuff like that, but I can't physically see that. I can physically see a nice garden, you know what I mean? So that's why. But, yeah. Anyway, let's figure out what we're doing now. We need to select the pattern pieces, separate your pattern pieces, leaving a tissue margin around all the pieces. So that to me reads that because, like, let's say you have a pattern piece, but you also need to have a seam allowance around the pattern piece in order to attach them together and not make them too small. So I'm assuming that's what that means. Yeah, if a pattern has more than one size, use a color pencil or highlighter to carefully cut the cutting lines for your size. Okay. I think ours... Which one did I get? Yeah, this one, this is the largest size in this pack, which is nice, because then hopefully that means we don't have to think too hard about that. Okay. There are 3 lengths marked on the front and back pattern pieces. For view A, 1 for view B, 1 for view C and D. Yeah, okay. Select the length of your view and mark with a color pencil or highlighter. Also mark the pattern marking your size. See the pattern. Right. Note illustrations. Okay. Some pieces might be common for all sizes. Right. Cut the pattern pieces close to the marked lines for your size and length, leaving a tissue margin on all the pieces. Right. So, I think that the pattern piece, it could be like one pattern piece could actually represent like 4 pieces of the pattern. So we have to make sure we make note via highlighter, which by the way, it didn't say bring a highlighter in your sewing supplies list, but that's fine. We're just nitpicking right now. Okay. So we know what we're doing. So I guess now it's time to unveil all of the pattern pieces. Again, I don't know what it is, because apparently, according to this, and also according to my mom, but also she is sewing extraordinaire, she made me a really cute zip like hoodie. I'll have to show you guys later, but I love it. It's got little mushrooms on it, and it's just the aesthetic in a nutshell. But yeah, she was like, oh yeah, this is a really simple pattern, like this is really whatever, like easy peasy and stuff. And I'm like, okay, I hope so. I think we need to clear off a bit better. I think this is gonna take up a lot of room. Let's move the fabric and all of the non-essential things. But yeah, I hope you guys have been doing well. I hope you've been keeping cool where you are, or trying your best, and everyone is, you know, I know in parts of Canada and the States, because of all the forest fires going on in Canada right now, all of that air quality is in the shitter right now. Though I did notice that, like, Ontario, where my friends are, they're getting, I basically looked at the air quality index, and the air quality index in Ontario, at least like where my friends live, versus the air quality index here is actually better. So despite the fact, I guess my friend said that it rained the other day, so it was better, but like they're getting secondhand smoke from the Quebec wildfires, and the London air quality is still worse than that. And I was like, okay, wow. But in Edmonton, it's absolutely atrocious. I think the like scales were like, apparently the lower the number, the better the air quality. So Ontario area where my friends are, that was at like 55. Here was at like 65, 70. And then in Edmonton, it was 167. So I was like, well, it's a good thing my parents are currently in Italy and not back at home right now. Yeah, we had better, like, really, yeah, that far down, eh? I'm sure there's probably, like, I say I'm sure, but I wonder, I'm assuming that there's forest fires, like, happening in the States as well, you know what I mean? Like, it's not just the runoff from what's happening up north, it's probably also happening in the region as well. That's really frustrating. Because I know, too, my friend was talking about how her little boy just got diagnosed with childhood asthma as well. And I'm like, the timing of this is absolutely atrocious. Mind you, I think it's always bad timing to get a lung capacity, you know, to get an asthma diagnosis. I think that's, you know, people don't realize, I think a lot of people get diagnosed with asthma, that they think it's, like, not that big of a deal. But it can actually be really detrimental if it's not managed properly. But yeah. So, okay, this just keeps getting bigger. You have asthma? Yeah. Do you have, like, an inhaler for it? I know my brother and I, like, well, more my brother, he had really bad childhood asthma, so I think he still has a puff for sometimes, and, like, my brother-in-law, he'll get, like, a flare-up every once in a while. But yeah, it's no joke. from what the satellite footage looked like. Oh, really? Yeah, they all started from the same, which is, yeah, like you said, it's very wild. But it was interesting because I was talking to my parents about this because the last time there was a really, really bad Canadian forest fire, that was in Fort McMurray, Alberta, and in like 2017. And my dad was saying that I guess in the news, like they were talking about how the weather conditions that were that are happening, they basically predicted that this was going to happen in a kind of roundabout way because they were like, the current trajectory of the weather patterns is creating the same circumstances that caused the Fort McMurray blaze. And so they're like all the conditions are there, you know what I mean? And obviously in a shitty way, like it proved them right. Yeah, mine's not control the most power. My only issue is that. Okay. Yeah. Yeah, that's the other thing too. Like, just dust and stuff can be. Okay, what in the F? The pattern is too big! Okay. Oh, there's a term glossary. That's nice. Alright, so we need to figure out what we are doing, because we don't know. I'll just make the dress out of tissue paper. Okay. This is belt C. Okay, we're not making the belt. So we don't need this one. I hope this tissue paper is sturdy. Okay, one front panel for A, B, C, and D. So we do need to cut this one. Okay. 250? I don't know where I pulled that number from, but that's my guess. Okay. Damn! At least I was right with the 200. You're going slow, but hey man, slow and steady wins the race. I don't know if it was a good idea. Okay, we need to stand up. This is some bullshit. We can't. Okay. Guys, okay. Let's readjust. Let's reassess. Let's move you guys way back here. There's not enough room. Okay, we need to. Okay. Get all the shiz out of the way. Can we even hear? Do I even have music on? I do. I can't really hear it. There's a lot going on right now. Let's turn it up for myself. Okay. let's. I dropped my iced tea. Oh, I went to the grocery store. I know. I was thinking about that too, but even then, I don't know if I have enough room on the floor. I don't know if I have enough floor room. To be fair, one of the YouTubers I watch all the time, named Rachel Maxey, always cuts her pattern pieces on the floor. I feel like that, yeah. We just need to, push everything back. Okay. It's fine, guys. It's fine. Put you here. Okay, okay. Now, is this attached? That's the other question. I think we just need to move this chair out of the way for now. Okay, we're standing today. See, is this what, I got up and you called that a suffering. Maybe the standing. This is my punishment for leaving you guys alone for 3 weeks. I now must stream entirely standing up. Okay. Oh, it's one giant piece. This is preposterous. This is unhinged. Okay. Okay. Watch I unfold it and it's not actually. No, I'm pretty sure it is 2 pieces. Yes, I know. Yes, this is my punishment for abandoning. Like anemone. Okay, perfect. It's 2 separate pieces. That's fine. But now I feel like once I've unfurled, once I've unfolded, I cannot refold. Okay, no, we can. It can be done. It can be done. Okay. Okay. It's fine. Right. Let's just... Okay. You're gonna live here for a second. Alright. Fan, please don't try to eat my tissue paper. I need it. So you're saying to a brewery? Yeah. Okay. Maybe. Sort of, kinda. I think we need to move this guy too. I don't even remember what I was trying to say. Brewery. Abandoning. Anemone. Okay. Let's bring this up. Bring this over. This isn't chaotic at all. Okay. So we don't need this one because we're not making a belt. Oh no, this is a drawstring. Okay, we need this one. Okay. Okay. Do we have to turn the fan off? It's probably a good idea if we do. We might die. It might be too hot, but I think it's just too chaotic to have the fan going while I'm trying to cut tissue paper. I just don't think that's a good idea. Okay. So, right. And let's you guys can anchor the tissue paper. Thanks for helping, friends. Okay. So, scissors. And we need to have a perimeter, like an overhang. So I'm thinking, I don't know, like an inch, half an inch. Yeah. You're welcome. Right? Thanks, guys. Thanks for being awesome. Okay. So, yeah. I think we need like half an inch of like, you know, extra. Why am I doing it this way? I think for my own sanity, we need to like put little notches maybe along the edges. Now this isn't gonna show up. This guy will show up. And it doesn't matter if he's a bright blue on this pattern because it's a pattern, it's not the fabric, so it's okay. Okay. I don't even know if I need to be doing this, but I feel like I'm supposed to have this much seam allowance. At least, like, in cutting the pattern, I don't know. I'm not sure. Has anybody cut pattern pieces before? Do you know what blah, 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 do you know what we're doing? I don't know. Okay. We're just gonna make some dots. And hope for the best. Yeah, because I'm assuming that the size of the fabric itself, because usually, to be fair, usually you do like a 1/4 inch. At least that's what my mom says. My mom uses words and I just take it as gospel because she's the only person I know who sews, aside from my grandma and my aunt, but the person I speak to most frequently about it. Like a 1/4 inch seam. So that's why I'm thinking if I do 1/2 inch, then when I go to sew it, if I cock it up, I have wiggle room. You know what I mean? That's what I'm doing. We're trying to anticipate that errors may occur, and you can cut off fabric, but you cannot add fabric. So that's why we're gonna, you know, do it this way. It's already so hot. I turned that fan off for like 2 seconds and I'm already dying. This is great. 1/2 inch. Have I not been doing 1/2 inch this whole time? It doesn't look. I'm so confused already. What have I been doing? Yeah, 1/2 inch. 1/2 inch. Okay. Right. Like 3/4 of an inch, I think. I have no idea about cutting it. Yeah, right? Yeah. I love it because, you know, I don't know. It's very rare that I undertake these tasks and Kat has any baseline knowledge of the situation, but you're just here to bring the vibes and the moral support, and I appreciate you for that, because I feel like sometimes that's all we need right now. I'm like, we don't know what we're doing, but we're gonna, like, be chill and positive about it together. You know what I mean? That's all we can ask of ourselves. All we can ask. Okay. But yes, I'm already very warm, so I'm not sure. Maybe once we get most of the patterns cut, because it's not like the fan is on the table, it's underneath. It's only because we have so much overhang of the pattern, and that's what's causing the issue of the blowing the stuff around. Okay. Is this gonna take a long time? Yes, it is. I figured this is what we're gonna be spending all of our time doing today. But we've given ourselves 2 weeks, or I've given myself 2 weeks to get this done, because that's how long my parents are going to be away for. And so then the plan is to get it done and then unveil it to my mother for approval and go from there. Okay, I don't know, basically because I'm bored. I don't want to spend time cutting or outlining it all before I start cutting, so we're just going to start cutting. There's nothing obviously on the other side. That would be problematic. That would be detrimental. So I think we just go. Make our first cut. Is that fine? My friend Lisa can like sew a dress in a night. Really? That's wild. Honestly, people who can do that without even patterns, like, insane. Brilliant. Like, kudos, and I love it. I wish. I wish. I can only imagine. I can only dream. Okay. This seems like maybe it's way too big of like a seam allowance, but it's fine. It's fine. It doesn't matter. Okay. I dream, right? Honestly, like there's some skills, like I'm just like, I'm in awe of you, you know? And I guess, like, people, you know, I don't know if your friend has been doing it for a really long time. Like, I know that my mom and my aunt, like, they've been sewing for years, like, years and years consistently. So I get, like, you'll get to a point where then that seems like it just kind of comes to you. It's, like, second nature. Whereas I don't know if I have any craft that I've done that I can just, I even have a hard enough time going off script with a cross stitch pattern. And I understand the concept of cross stitch. But yeah, I don't know if we need these for anything. I don't know, people probably use them to like make their own patterns and junk. I don't know. I would like to fold it back along its lines though, just for ease. But I don't know if that's gonna work. Do you ever start off when you're like, oh yeah, I'm gonna refold this on the fold lines, and then you kind of give up halfway through, and you're like, this is taking too long. Ain't nobody got time for this. That's kind of how I feel right now. All right, that's fine though. Okay, scrap. We don't need you. She's been doing it for a while. Yeah, yeah. One can dream. All right. First cut, done. Let's continue. Such concentration. It's fine. Okay. Add some little dots. Do that with this guy as well. The cutting board is kind of in the way, but right now it doesn't matter. Oh, so fun fact today, I found out, please make a pun using the word address and ha! I'll have to think of one. That'll happen. Yeah. You're like, I must address controversy. I must address my creation of a dress. It'll happen, definitely. Remind me to remind you to remind me. It'll happen. But yeah, so I found something interesting today. That today is Mary-Kate and Ashley Olsen's birthday, which is also my best friend's partner's birthday, which is also mine and Liam's anniversary. So today is mine and Liam's 4-year anniversary, and it's also the same day as the Olsen twins' birthday, which kind of makes me feel a little bit special. Sorry about Roberto, my friend's partner. He's a nice guy, but it's not nearly as exciting. I remember the countdown. Yeah, it happens with a lot of younger celebrities, like a lot of child actors. I think the same thing happened with Selena Gomez. Is dressed for funsies. It's kind of half and half. So I have 2 destination weddings to go to this year. And so my goal was because I don't have very many formal dresses, and I also got gifted some mushroom earrings for my birthday, and I wanted to have a dress that would go with the earrings. Yes, so that's why we're making this. But if it doesn't turn out, it's okay, because one of the things that my mom and aunt are really good about, so the other issue, not the issue, but the thing is, right, like in London, you don't realize that you have access to so many different like clothing shops and jewelry stores and like things like that, right? Whereas in Canada, like it's pretty slim pickings in terms of options, and when you are shopaholic fashionistas like my mom and aunt, London is like overwhelming, right? It's like incredible. It's my birthday's next month. Oh really? Oh yeah. Oh amazing. Oh, your birthday's next month. Ooh, exciting. But yeah, so we were in this store because of course my mom was like, well, I know you want to make a dress, but if we can find you a dress, like maybe we'll do that instead or in addition to or whatever. And I was kind of like, well, I'm really like dead, like I'm, I have my heart set on making this dress. I hope it's going to be okay. But, whatever, right? And so we went into this store and we were trying on dresses because, my family were trying on things, whatever. And then my mom brought me this dress and was like, try it on. And I looked at it and I was like, it's completely not my style. It's totally not like the forest core vibes we're going with. It's not going to go with the earrings, but like, just to pacify her, I'll put this on, right? And this happens, like, not all the time, but sometimes where it'll be like, oh, I'll try this dress on, like, just for funsies, or try this thing on just for funsies, and I'll be like, okay, cool. And then usually it's like, okay, I've tried it on now. Are you happy? It's still not my style. I'm going to do something else, right? But I put this dress on and look at myself in the mirror. And I got really annoyed because it looks really good. And it's completely something I would have never picked out for myself. And something that's like completely out of my comfort zone. So I bought it with the destination wedding that we're going to in Greece in mind. It's like very Greece, all-inclusive resort, bougie bitch. I look like I need to be a cast member on the show White Lotus, which I've never seen, but it gives me that vibe. But yeah, so I do have a dress as well. But I'm hoping if this one turns out, I'm gonna wear this one to the Ireland wedding. Yeah, I'm off for the week. Oh man, oh that's so frustrating. I hope the surgery is like nothing major and he'll be okay. Is it just like a routine sort of thing? It's all Greek to me, absolutely. I'm excited. One of the things Liam and I, because it's been so hot, again, I went ham at the grocery store and just bought a bunch of random stuff. Because I went around lunchtime when I was hungry, which you're never supposed to do, is shop for food when you're hungry. But I picked up a bunch of like picky bits. That's what they call it here. It's basically like British tapas is picky bits, right? Like a bunch of just like little picnic kind of foods. Oh right, I know you mentioned that he has ear issues and stuff. So okay, hopefully that goes well. All the fingers and toes crossed. But yeah, so I picked up all these like little tapas things, and it reminds me, it's very Greek related food. So it's like, oh, we got this thing. It's part of the Sainsbury's summer whatevers. And it's a whipped feta dip, and it's so good. Like feta cheese, but whipped into a dip form. It's amazing. And it has like mint and some oil and stuff with it, and it's just like, oh, so good. But yeah, just like little things are like, I really like these particular green olives, and so I always get myself like, I call them like antipasti things or whatever. I don't know if I'm using the correct terms for any of it, but basically like little picky bits that seem to be very Mediterranean influenced. So that's what I'm most excited about if we are going to Greece, is to eat all of like the olives and the feta and the sun-dried tomatoes and all the little bits. It's a good way to say I'm going to eat before you go shopping. Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely. Ooh, that sounds really nice. That sounds really nice. I also, though, I made a fun little purchase, but I had to rearrange my entire fridge, but it didn't matter. It's fine. I got one of those, like, it wasn't massive, but like one of those water jugs that has a little spout on the end, because I want to make tea and then leave it in the fridge so I get iced tea whenever I want. So I did it for the first time today, and it's so good. But it's a little bit too tall, so I had to rearrange all the shelves in the fridge to be able to fit it in there. But it's good. So I made myself some iced green tea, because ain't nobody got time for hot beverages in this hot weather. Though I feel like I've been told, and this was something that I was told when I was in Australia, where they said because it's really hot, if you drink hot beverages, it warms up your internal body temperature, so then you don't feel as hot on the outside. It's like some science thing where it's like your body's, if it's more like an equilibrium state where you're just as hot on the inside as you are on the outside, then it doesn't feel as hot, if that makes sense. But I still don't like the idea of consuming a warm beverage right now. Yeah, there's another place that makes tzatziki sauce that's freaking amazing. Oh, they grill the pita. Tzatziki sauce is amazing. The other thing I also discovered when I moved here, because they don't do it in like Canadian Greek places, is fried or grilled halloumi. So like halloumi cheese, especially when you can like barbecue it, or like grilled halloumi cheese is so good. All right. So size, yes. This is the drawstring. I believe the drawstring, this is like the neck piece. Okay. Yay! Our first pattern piece. Where do I put this so it's out of the way? I guess just on the chair for now. Yeah, some of my we eat hot food in hot weather and said it was about the yeah. Oh, that only applied to spicy food. Interesting. Yeah, right? I have a tissue paper neck tie. I was going to say neck brace. I'm like, it's not going to brace anything, is it? Okay. Next is the guide for the elastic. And we do need to go all the way to the end, so that is fine. Let's continue. Part of me kind of just wants to eyeball it, but I don't trust myself. I don't trust myself to just eyeball it. Okay. Boop, 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 boop. But yeah. I also got some fun, like, shiny sandals to go with this Greek dress. I have to break them in, though. Oh, at our reception, thank God I brought flats to change into, because I had heels on, and I haven't worn heels for an extended period of time for, like, forever. Yeah, because the sweating is caused the temperature change. Oh, okay. Interesting. But yeah, so I hadn't worn heels for a long time, but the heels, like, that I do have, like, these ones that I've worn with my wedding outfit, are quite comfortable. But I guess I was, like, dancing hard and going ham, and so luckily I changed into flats, but I obviously didn't change into flats soon enough, because I had I had 3 blisters in total, but the 2, like, one on each of my big toes, I don't think I've ever seen a blister that big in my entire life. And then it took like a week for them to go down because obviously we were still running around and doing stuff. So I looked like, I don't know, I looked real sad. Luckily we had blister bandages we had bought for like complimentary bits for the reception. So we had a bunch of them because people hadn't used them. So like for the next 3 days, because we went down to Brighton, my parents and my aunt and I. So I needed to do, all my toes, like my 3 toes were wrapped in blister band-aids and... So finally, the first 2 went down in a few days, but the one was like holding on for dear life. But yeah, it was wild. I was like, damn, should have put the flats on sooner. I can do this. Do you think I trip easily? Ooh, that'll be nice then. Spicy food for the scorching heat. Definitely, definitely. Yeah, no. So that's why. So I got like these sandals, especially too, like the destination weddings, and like, I don't know, man, it's gonna be really, really hot. Like, I don't know if it's humanly possible to have, like, to wear formal attire and keep cool, but I'm gonna try my damnedest. But yeah, so we got that to do, but the reception was really fun. Again, blisters aside, it didn't matter, it was worth it. But I did notice something. So BBQs in the summer, silly. Spicy BBQ in the summer, natural cooling system, which I would argue eating the spicy food in the sun cancel each other out because the sun will outlast your sweat. Yeah. Oh, definitely. Yeah. Do you get, like, because I find that I kind of get, like, a bit, like, my skin can get kind of rashy a little bit from the heat. It's not a burn. It's more just, like, an irritation. I guess from, like, I don't know if it's, like, from my, like, clothes rubbing against the hot skin or something like that. It's not everywhere, but I do notice it, like, in sort of, like, my neck, sort of chest area can sometimes get a little bit splotchy. But yeah. I feel like there's probably a lot of counterintuitive things that people do in the summertime, because I know that a lot of people, again, with, yeah, geez, Saul, turn it down a notch, why don't ya? Cut it out. Because a lot of times with barbecue season comes a lot of people who drink, like, beers and ciders and stuff, like patio season, so everyone's, like, drinking alcohol, and I'm pretty sure drinking alcohol when it's really, really hot is probably not good, because doesn't alcohol dehydrate you? And then you want to be really hydrated, because if you sweat too much and you can't replenish your liquids fast enough, that's when people, like, pass out and get heat stroke and stuff. But for some reason, like, that seems to be a whole culture of, like, oh, it's hot out, let's crack open a cold beer or something, you know what I mean? And it's like, I feel like if you crunch the numbers, it's probably not a good thing to do, you know what I mean? But everything in moderation, but you just want to like make sure that you are keeping your hydration levels up. Because I have a hard time keeping my hydration levels up in the dead of winter, just because I have a hard time drinking all the time. I just forget and find water boring. But I'm trying to be better about it. Speaking of which, drinking in the heat also increases your risk of heat illness. Yeah. Mm-hmm. Exactly. Mm-hmm. Aphrodite, wow. Isn't that the goddess of beauty? Is that Greek or Roman? No, Athena is the goddess of beauty in Greek, and is Aphrodite Roman? I always get them mixed up. My Greek and Roman mythology is not accurate. That used to piss my friend off because he was really into mythology. And then I think we went to go see a movie, and they kept, like, this movie was all about gods and stuff, and they kept on, like, interchanging Roman and Greek gods, and it was making him so frustrated. Greek goddess, okay. Identified with Venus. Okay, Venus and Aphrodite. Yes, yes, yes. Goddess of love and fertility. Mm-hmm, mm-hmm. Yeah. I do enjoy learning about, like, again, I said I can't keep them, you know, sorted. I keep, you know, misconstruing them and stuff. But I do like learning about gods and goddesses. And, like, learning about the different traits and the different, like, domains and stuff that they were in. There's a lot of that in, like, people who practice, like, witchcraft and stuff like that. Sometimes they will also incorporate different gods and goddesses into their practice. Especially if they're doing things like, you know, for instance, like love spells, they might call upon Aphrodite to help with all that and stuff. Egyptian, Greek, Roman, Nordic, Hindu. Yeah. Oh, yeah, absolutely. That's fair. Well, yeah, I think there's something to be said. Like, there's a lot of, I think before humans across countries and cultures had the ability to communicate openly with each other, everyone had their own ways, like, you know what I mean? Because a lot of, like, themes in life boil down, like, love, marriage, family, prosperity, health, whatever. Like, those are all just common life things. And so it makes sense that, like, different cultures would then have different ways to bolster that, whether it be praying to different gods or offering certain things to certain deities or whatever. But then it's like, yeah, once you realize how small the world is, or you realize what things are shared by a universal human experience, but obviously a long time ago, before planes, internet, telephones, all that kind of stuff, everyone was in insular communities. It's just interesting that when you do extrapolate that, you're like, oh wow, look how similar everyone is. It's like a great uniter. Yeah. Yeah, that's the other thing too. But yeah, I think it's kind of interesting, like, from, like, a sociological perspective, that, like you said, even though there's all of these separate gods and goddesses, or, like, you know, spiritual whatevers, that come in different regions, it's like, yeah, obviously, because nobody could travel to different regions to know that that's what was going on in other places. But the fact that all that still did, but were happening under different names, is kind of cool. But yeah, it's when the actual, like, tax-exempt organizations that then corporatize the spiritual religious experience, that's a different can of worms. I thought it was really interesting. I didn't read the book, but I did watch the first season of American Gods on Amazon Prime. I do want to watch the second season, but Marilyn Manson is in it. And then I think it actually got canceled after that, which is a shame for all the actors, but also screw him. But yeah, so because he's in it, I have no desire to watch it. Romans were made out of spite, though. Oh, really? But we know more than the others. Oh, interesting. I read the book. Yeah, I don't know what role he had, but I think he had a bit part in the second season, and so naturally, that made me not want to watch it. But I love Emily Browning, the actress who's one of the main actors in it, but just the concept, like, of the book, like, of the gods all interacting and all that kind of stuff, I did find very interesting. But yeah, did you like the book, Kat? I don't know if my parents read the book. I've read other Neil Gaiman stuff. Actually, no, I haven't. I'm aware of other Neil Gaiman stuff. Oh no, I did. I've read a Neil Gaiman book that I liked. And I feel like I would like other Neil Gaiman stuff. Again, just not got around to it. I've also heard that American Gods is like a massive undertaking of a book. I feel like the book was so long ago. Yeah. Okay. Yeah, I think that's one thing I want to do more of. I think as well, because it's going to get really hot here again this summer, and one of the things that we've noticed is, like, our TV gives off a lot of heat. I think that's sort of a universal thing, like a lot of electronics give off a lot of heat. And so as it gets really hot, I think, you know, to keep myself cool, I should transition to reading books as my form of entertainment as opposed to watching TV, just as a way to keep myself more cool. Because I finally finished my book that I kept telling you guys everyone should read that made me come off like a prolothetizing? I don't know. It sounded like I was like, you know, preaching it at you, but I did think it was awesome. My mom's reading it right now, though. Yeah, The Graveyard. That's one I listened to on audiobook, and I was so in love with it. And when it ended, I was like, I want more. I just want to exist in this world for longer. I loved The Graveyard Book. Yeah. So you sweat all over the pages and the ink runs. Yeah, right? Exactly. Well, I would hope that the book is of better quality than that. If it can't survive my sweat, then, you know, it's a poorly manufactured book. Alright, next piece. This is the guide for the elastic. So this one's gonna have an elastic waistband. Yeah, so now my mom's currently reading the book. The book's called Solve for Happy. It's a book that Liam got last year when he was still, when he was like not in the best headspace, and it was like life-changing for him. So then I read it and I had a lot of like brain explosion, oh my god, aha moments. And so now we've been to my mom, because my mom likes reading, you know, all sorts of books. So she has it right now with her. Until you, sorry, Sylvan. I use the Kindle up on my phone. Oh, you got a new phone. Oh, nice. Oh, that's weird that your GPS went to shit. Yeah, you're still operating a printing press where you are, aren't you, Saul? You're like, the printing press, and it takes 6 days to dry, and you better not sweat on it. That's weird that it was the GPS that went to shit. I wonder why. I have a really old Kindle with books on it that I probably should read at some point as well. To be fair, I have a bookshelf with a bunch of books on it. This one right here. There's books on here I have not read either that I probably need to do. So, I'm just not, I don't know. It's sad. Like, I'm not as good at book reading as I once was. I used to read books. Sorry, that's a weird angle. This is what you got. Let me check. Probably because you drop your phone a lot. Fair. That's fair. Ooh, oh, you got the fold. Oh, how are you finding it? I think Liam's aunt has a fold. I love the concept of it. I just don't know, like, how, like, it just seems to me like there could be screen crackage at some point. But you love it? Oh, amazing. Yeah, that's true, because it's bigger, so you can. That would be awesome. Yeah, to be fair, I think it would be nice if we went into, like, a bit bigger phones again. Though I guess to be fair, some of the smartphones, like the premium plus whatever versions of phones, are quite big and massive. To think, Tash, that where you stand right now has existed since... Yes! Mm-hmm. Oh, absolutely. I don't want to think about that too much, though, because then my brain will hurt. It is really cool, though. That's the one thing that's really nice about living in the UK, is, like, if you are really into history and stuff like that, because all the houses and stuff here are so old, and because they are, like, brick and mortar and they're not timber frames, like, they've been around for decades. And so it's really cool when you do sort of think about the history of your own home and the space and how many iterations it's gone through and that kind of stuff. Even just, like, for instance, to bring it back into, like, the garden we're working on, because we obviously inherited this garden from the previous owners, and I'm not sure what the state of the garden was in before they moved in. And then you just think of, like, oh, okay, like, we've transformed this land multiple times now, in different ways, and what that looks like, and what it will look like, you know, 10, 15 years down the road. Okay. Second piece. Guide for the elastic. Okay. Let's cut off this excess stuff. Interesting. A garbage disposal warehouse. To be fair, like, you know, if it's done well, I think there's lots of sort of industrial type things that get redone and they actually take on, like, a whole new life, and that's really cool. But obviously, if it's done poorly, it can still retain a lot of its, like, industrial nature and feel very not residentially livable. You know what I mean? Okay. So now what piece is this? This is one of the dress panels. This is the front panel. And we are doing the full length of the panel. So I don't think we have to worry about this, because this is if we were doing the shorter dress, which we're not. We are doing. And then we can lengthen or shorten the hem once we, like, cut out the piece and stuff. Very odd place for it, honestly. We're surrounded by residential roads and streets. Oh, interesting. Oh, interesting. Yeah. That's the other thing, too, that's really, like, not bizarre, but also quite interesting about, like, older civilization, I guess, is, like, the sort of, like, I guess because back in the day, and obviously this doesn't make sense in terms of industrialization and stuff like that, but it's, like, usually what would happen is, because a lot of places were very, like, religious or whatever, right? A lot of towns, you would have, like, your church, and then you would build out your town, and so things have a bit more of, like, a circular appeal. Whereas in Canada, because a lot of stuff, certain areas were being purpose-built, everything's on a grid. So I find it so much easier to navigate. That's why I always complain here that if you make a wrong turn in the UK, it could send you off on a completely different adventure. Whereas if you make a wrong turn in Canada, you just make a couple right turns and you come back on yourself and you can try again. Whereas, like, you don't know what's happening if you make a wrong turn in the UK. It's like, you might be able to find your way back. In 2 minutes, you might be on, like, a completely 45-minute side quest. You know? Yeah, maybe. Yeah, maybe your town, maybe, you know, if you believe in lizard people, maybe they pray to the garbage dump, and so they erected their, you know, religious monument in the center of your town and built everything around it. So if anything, you are living on holy ground, according to the lizard people. Okay, this is a long pattern piece. If you turn on a road here, you can end up in a not so great part of the state. People shoot at you. Right, yeah. Yeah. There is bits of that everywhere as well, where it's kind of like, just because you can turn back on yourself doesn't necessarily mean that you want to turn back on yourself in that particular part of town, you know? Yeah, no, I get that. That is definitely a factor as well. I'm glad to see you today. Say hello and welcome back. And what do I get? Oh yeah, garbage space. Your town is a flute. No. No. I'm saying you should reframe it that you live on holy ground. Unbeknownst to me, I purchased 3 Audible books. Oh. Yeah. Yeah, that would be interesting. That's kind of, like, it's, in a way, it's kind of cool that you unintentionally downloaded LGBT books. Also, happy Pride Month, everybody. Happy Pride Month to all my LGBTQ2IA+ friends and family. It's important to celebrate you guys. Wow, yeah. Listening to them versus reading, though. Ah, Snipin', hello, hello. Does Satchel Max listen to romance books, or does she just read them? Yeah. Listening to them would be very interesting, because I'm sure the voices are very, like, cringy. You know what I mean? Like, I'm sure to read them would be kind of, yeah. It might be a bit interesting. It feels like, yeah. Oh, she listens to them. Oh, on bike rides. Oh, amazing. I'm surprised she doesn't fall off her bike listening to them. Wow. Good for her. That's awesome, though. Yeah, I don't know. Again, I also have audiobooks I've not finished. I've still not finished the Howl's Moving Castle audiobook, which is really annoying. Ooh, we've almost been besties for a year? That's amazing. Our friend-iversary is next month. I love that. She'll cry on a bike ride because of the... Yes, That's incredible. To be fair, because I'm sure sometimes, like, isn't that a thing where, like, crying can sometimes give you a different, like, hormone release? So she's just, like, getting all of the hormones nice and loosey-goosey in the morning. That's awesome. Seems like much longer than yeah. No, it's true, doesn't it? Again, time is an illusion, nothing is real. Everything comes and goes, and it just, yeah. But that's amazing. That's so exciting. But yeah, it definitely feels like way longer than that. I have that with a lot of things, where I'm just like, I get that not a lot of time has passed, but also I feel like you've been in my life for forever, you know? I feel that way with a lot of you guys. A lot of you guys. I've been that one empowered lifting and watching. Ask my stepdad. Oh no. I guess you just have to make sure that you don't cry so much. I guess no, that wouldn't work because you would deadlift with your hands out here. Because I was saying how much you want, like if you were bawling your eyes out and you were like, I guess I would just be concerned you might accidentally drop the dumbbells because you're crying. And in my brain, I was like, you cry so hard that it then gets on your hands and then it gets slippery and then you drop the weight. But I don't think in any iteration of you lifting would you end up getting tears on your hands. Do you know what I mean? Maybe on the center part of the bar, you could. Your tears could make it slippery and that could be dangerous for you. Mm-hmm. Yeah. Oh my god, I don't know how YouTube and watch the pregnancy announcements and parents going, no. See, I do that with the dog adoption ones. But sometimes I can't. Because I'm just too... Yeah. I can't. I have to gauge my emotional levels if I'm gonna do that. I think I only do a couple. I can't rabbit hole because then I definitely would be bawling. People always say that that's something about figures, which is nice when it comes to your parents. Yeah, right? See, they're just being jokesters. That's where you got it from. I'm wondering if I should just cut this piece out anyway, even though we don't need it, just so that I can get rid of all of this excess fat, like excess tissue paper. Probably. I feel like that would be a good idea. Just get everything cut out and then go from there. Oh, really? Yes, please. Yes, please. I would love to be introduced. I forgot to put sauce on lunch today, so it's gonna be so dry. No! Oh, what are you having for lunch? Yeah, no, I'm a big proponent of sauce and dips. Sauces and dips, I'm a big fan. Big fan. Some people aren't. Some people find like sauces and stuff gross. I love me some sauce. I love me some sauce. Relationships, we love it, right? Especially if they're healthy, happy, and positive relationships. That's what we love to see. Everyone happy, healthy, and thriving. Thank you very much. Oh, stir fry. Ginger and soy. Ooh, yeah. Hopefully there's a little bit of, like, some sort of, you know what I mean? That sounds really nice, though. I love a good stir fry. I was actually thinking of having stir fry tonight. I'm not sure what we're going to have for dinner tonight. If it's just going to be, like, more picky bits. Might see if it's, yeah, do you have, is there like extra condiments and stuff on the fridge, in the fridge? So I would assume, I don't know if it's the same, because I know at least here in UK offices, there's always at least a fridge with some milk in it because everyone has like milky teas and stuff throughout the day. So you usually always have a milk in the fridge. I don't know what other sorts of bits might be in the fridge. I go for some stir fry too. Oh my god, really? Guys, we're all just like psychically connected. See, even when we're apart, we're still together. We're just intrinsically linked. I love that for us. BBQ sauce, okay, I better put some clothes on. Yeah, or not, you know. That might be a different adventure. I guess if you have to leave the house to procure the stir fry, it might be a good idea. But if you order the stir fry, then you don't gotta put clothes on. It's contactless delivery, baby. Leave it in the door. You don't gotta see me. Okay. It's hot. Yeah. Have you been sitting in front of a fan? I hope so. I'm like, I would be, but this tissue paper'd be acting too nuts for the fan to be on as well. So we had to make a sacrifice. I'm doing okay. I think we still have a bit of a breeze. Like, I'm warm, but I'm functioning. We've not had to, like, we have a portable air conditioning unit, and we've not had to bust it out yet, but it will be soon enough, I'm sure. No, the windows. Woohoo! All the peeping Toms and Tammies. Yeah, what's the female equivalent of a peeping Tom? Or is Tom a gender-neutral name? Is it peeping Tammy? That's what I'm just gonna assume it is. Because all genders have equal opportunities to be creeps. Packs up the foldable chair from the creep section. Love it. This is accurate, yeah. But yeah, it's gonna get hot, so people's bodies are gonna be out, and society just needs to, like, accept that. Peering Vera, clocking Claris, glancing Gloria. I like glancing Gloria. Glancing Gloria and Peeping Tom. But Peeping Tom, see, I like that that's an alliteration, because Peeping Tom, it would be like, I don't know, like Peeping Pete. It's interesting why it's a Tom, because I like an alliteration. I like glancing Gloria. Glaring Gloria, she's judging you, which she shouldn't, because it's like, you're the one being a creep, you know? I'm gonna do the one side first, just again to get some of this excess tissue off of here. Mid 18th century, from the name of the person said to have watched Lady Godiva ride naked through Coventry. Interesting. Interesting. I'm more intrigued about why the Lady Godiva was riding around naked in Coventry. I hope she was having a nice time. I hope she wasn't in any distress and was just, you know, living her best life. There's a Godiva chocolate brand. I wonder if it's named after her. I would assume so. I don't know how many other Godivas there are in the world. Yeah, hi Probacus. Yes, hello, hello. Attached stream, it's true. I'm back for the next 2 weeks. We're gonna be making a dress. How are you? It was hot out that day. That's what I'm thinking. As the story goes, Godiva was troubled by the crippling taxes Leofric had levied on the citizens of Coventry after she repeatedly asked him to lessen the burden. Leofric quipped that he would lower tax only if she rode naked on the horse back through center town. That just means that she is committed to the people We like that. We like a lady of the people who will protest. Like, that was like a try me bitch move, and she absolutely smashed it. Making coffee, amazing, amazing. Very good. Is it, I'm assuming it's just as hot where you are as it is here in the UK. If not warmer. I assume it is quite warm. I had a fan going on here, but it was blowing all of the tissue paper everywhere, and we could just not have any of that, so we needed to make an executive decision. So I'm a little bit warm right now, but like doing okay. We still got some airflow, so it's not the worst. But yes, how have you been? We are back. We have a mission. My parents are still visiting, but they're currently gallivanting around Italy for 2 weeks. I will be back momentarily. Not a problem. I'm a fan of fans. Yeah. Oh, it's 48 outside. Oof. Oof. That's brutal. That coffee you're making better be iced. Jeez. I was gonna say, thankfully it's only 27 here, but that's still not nice. Still not ideal. Okay. So we've cut that level off now. Scoot, scoot, and then we'll... Yeah, that's Celsius. No, we're Celsius too. So that's why I can tell. I understand what you mean. Yeah, I don't understand Fahrenheit. Okay, we're just gonna... Okay. We're just gonna not bother. There we go. Okay, next bit. Scrap. Cut. Alright. More markings. So, if you don't know, what we're doing is we're making a dress. We're going to make this dress out of this fabric. Where am I? This fabric. But we gotta cut out the pattern pieces first. So that's what we're doing today. And then it'll be very interesting when we have to cut out the fabric pieces on here. We might need to transition to the floor. That'll be interesting. I'm gonna try not to. I feel like I would prefer to be able to do this all on the table. But we'll see. We will cross that bridge when we get there. Go Fahrenheit yourself. Zick burn. Oh. What was that? Oh, Noon Day! Thank you so much for the resub. Yay! What is it? Is that the equation for Fahrenheit? I trust you if you do, Probacus. You're Mr. Maths in my brain, so if that's the equation, I'm trusting you. Hello! How are you, Noon Day? It's so good to see you. I've missed you. Guys, if you don't know, Noon Day's been making gorgeous fairy wings lately, and they're absolutely phenomenal, and I can't believe that this is your first time ever making them. It's 29 here. Truly. Yeah, I think thankfully it's 27 here. I think it was like, I think it went up to 30 the other day, but then we had like this flash thunderstorm for like 5 minutes, and I think it cooled everything down a little bit. But I don't think it's meant to stay. I think it's meant to continue to be hot. You're making a froggy bag now? Cute! Is that also to go with your outfit? Or is that just a separate thing? Because I think you made the wings to go with your like pink mushroom outfit, right? Patatas in Mexico at the moment. Yeah, rude. No, just kidding. Yes, I'm sure. It's so exciting. Good for her. I love to hear it. I love people traveling, doing things, living their life, you know? Just a separate thing. New pattern release. Oh, cool. I love it. I do love a good novelty bag. I've had to get rid of a bunch of mine just because, like, a lot of times I get a cute bag and I can only fit, like, 2 things in there. And, like, when I leave the house, I like to prepare for the apocalypse. So I'm a backpack girl. So I can't do the cute little bags. So it's currently 89.6 Fahrenheit here. Cool. Yeah. Damn. No, that's still... It's just all those numbers, if anything, like, Fahrenheit just makes things seem even hotter to me. They're so cute. Let me see. No. Stop. These are the bags? And you're gonna make the froggy one? Guys, there's like a fox and a deer and a penguin. No. Those are adorable. I'm obsessed. That's so freaking cute. 70 here with the humidity. Yeah, the humidity is what kills it. Oh, really? Oh, they're a streamer too? Oh, that's amazing. That's awesome. Jeez, I'm like, maybe I need to make a cute little foresty critter bag. I'm obsessed. She was a patent like 2 days ago. And already good for them. I love that. Yeah, she had. Yeah, that's amazing. You're gonna make a bunch of them to sell. Oh, that's so cool. If they're allowing you to do that, that's incredible. 23 students community. That's not too bad. Yeah, it's livable, but it's not ideal. I find, I can't really do humidity. Like, it just, you just feel sticky all the time. Like, you just feel sticky just existing, you know? That, and the other thing, too, that pisses me off about humidity is that it takes a million years for your clothes to dry on the clothesline, which is annoying as hell. It takes our clothes like 3 days to dry, and that's even in like intense heat because it's too humid. Everything just stays moist. Stop. Cut it out. It gets up to like 120. Ooh. Walking into an armpit. Yeah, truly. Blech. Yeah, truly. Yeah, it's pretty bad. Like, sometimes, too, like, it can get so hot that you walk outside and take in a breath, and it just, like, hurts your body. Yeah, totally fun to have. Amazing. That's awesome. Have clothes on. What a shame, Sol. We're disappointed. You weren't gonna pull Lady Godiva? You know? Missed opportunity, my dude. Just order some cute hardware from AliExpress. Oh, cool. Yeah, hopefully. I feel like, isn't it with AliExpress, it's always a crapshoot? It's like, it could take 6 weeks, it could take 6 months. We don't know. We'll figure it out. I consider it a problem. Yeah, Yeah, we don't want the time period repercussions similarly to the time period crime. Absolutely. I desperately need to sew. Oh no! Oh, that's so frustrating. Yeah, I don't know. Well, to be fair, I was like, I've not used my sewing machine in a while. But hopefully it's okay. I think, to be fair though, yours probably went because you use your sewing machine a lot. Mine has like 0 wear and tear because I've made like a handful of things with it. Whereas I think you put yours through the ringer, which is good because that means you're getting all your use out of it. It's my BD next month, so I'm gonna, that would be amazing. Oh, we'll have 2 birthdays to celebrate next month. Yours and Kat's. Whoop whoop. I love it. That's exciting. There's a few July birthdays in my family as well. We have like a couple, I think we've talked about this before, where we have like a few months that are very birthday heavy. July is like medium heavy in terms of birthdays. August is pretty heavy in terms of birthdays. But we get a few. July is the birthday month for your family? Yeah. Oh, yeah, that's a frustrating. There's 4 of you in the week. CrappyStarMachines.com. Oh, no way! 19th and 20th! Oh my god, that's incredible! I love that. It's like almost birthday twins. Almost. Birthday siblings. Alright. I would like to say I'm getting more efficient at this, but I don't think so. I think I'm just, you know, doing my best. Whoa. Need to make sure we stretch. We did a bunch of stretching beforehand. I don't know as well. I think it's probably because I've been doing so much gardening and like lifting and whatever that I feel like my back tension, I don't know, like my back and neck are kind of seizing up right now. First I had to cancel my parachute. No! Oh, really? That's so frustrating. Is it because you need the other person to make it so it's not like stupidly expensive, right? Damn it. That's so frustrating. Is it one of those where you can't leave it to the last minute? It's one of those where you need to like to get reimbursed, you know what I mean? Like you can't leave it too late, right? Damn. Have you finished your cosplay for it too? Yeah, you have to cancel it too. My sister's free to come, but she doesn't. Right. Yeah. No, it's nowhere near finished. That's fair. That's fair. I appreciate that. But still, oh, geez. That's annoying because you're like, yeah, okay, like you can come for the company, but that's not the point, unfortunately. Like if it was that easy, that would be fine, but that sucks. Hopefully, somebody last minute will be like, I can come, here's the funds, like, let's go, you know? Yeah, that's true. That makes sense. I remember when you were like, I'm not sure. Yeah. And the other thing, too, is it's not that you don't have any sort of cosplay outfits. Like, you have other things you could wear to the con. So, yeah, like you said, once they didn't do the competition, you're like, well, there's no motivation for me to make something new. I'll just go back into my stash of other cosplay items and use one of those. Oh, no. That's frustrating, yeah. Hopefully she has enough. You can't, you know what I mean? It's one of those where it can't be helped, right? And then it's one of those where you're giving her, hopefully you're giving her enough notice that it's like, okay, if you can find another person, you know what I mean? Because you can't predict these things. The artist alleys are the coolest things about going to conventions to me. Like, I don't know, everyone's art and everything is just so incredible. It's like, I would rather have £100 to spend in an artist alley than have £100 for like a meet and greet with one person. I don't know if there's like any celebrity that I would want to spend like hundreds of pounds to get like my picture with for 2 seconds. I'm not sure. She only gets 2 assistants. Oh, okay. But I'm already down and clean my ticket. Oh no. Oh, that's weird. That's annoying that it's like based on your name. You would think it could just get changed. That's annoying. Like, I don't know if it's like, okay, I guess for security purposes, but like it seems dumb that it can't be like, okay, I need to register a different one. Like, I understand, like, registering a booth, but it seems like registering an assistant to me seems like that shouldn't be as set in stone, but maybe it is. I don't even know. Oh, hello. You can just see my schnoz. That's nice. It's one of those where when we do projects that we've never done before, I've not quite figured out what the angles and stuff are meant to be. Doug Jones is coming to the con here, and I really want to meet him. I don't think I know who that is. What have they been in? I'm gonna do a Google. Oh, don't fall, don't fall, don't fall, don't fall. Where'd I put my phone? There it is. Ooh, jeez. It's fine. Okay. Doug Jones. Ooh. Oh, he's the one. Yes. Yeah. He's the Pan's Labyrinth monster. Yes. He's Mr. Monster Mash himself. That's cool. Yeah, that would be cool to meet, just to like have a conversation with him about like how much time he spends in prosthetics. Like, I'm sure if he, like, I don't know if he has the number, but like if he could tabulate the amount of time he's spent being in complete prosthesis, I don't even know if that's the correct term, in all of the prostheticses, that would be interesting. Schnooze. Yeah. Schnooze is a good word. Schnoz. Yes. Also schnoz. Schnoz and schnooze. I guess since I've already got my ticket changing at me. Oh, okay. Right. Yeah. He's on a new Star Trek. Oh, okay. Which I'm sure will get canceled. Oh, is that... Does that happen with you a lot, where you get into a show and you're like, this is incredible, and then I'm like, you're like Abed on Community, and then that's when they found him Adventure Space, wasn't it like Adventure Spaceman, which was basically like their version of Doctor Who. Yeah. That sucks. I don't know if to be fair, there's a few shows that I've watched that I hope get renewed. But I feel like by the time, I don't know, especially like a lot of shows, I'll binge the season and I won't know what's going on with them. And then I think by the time it's like whether or not they have a second season, I've like moved on with my life. Okay. Dress panel. I think we will need to alter it. Oh no, maybe not. It'll be like floor length. Oh no, we will need to alter it a little bit. But we will cross that bridge when we get there. Okay. This is a glossary of pattern names. So there's applique, blousing, casing, center, center back, center front. That's cool. These are all the terms, but you're not telling me what they mean. Hem, interface to this line, interfacing left side, lengthen or shorten. Okay. Like, these are the terms, but just because they're terms doesn't mean I know what they mean. Okay. Winchester's was canceled in Lockwood & Co. Oh, I like Lockwood & Co. Got coffee and sandwich, what did I miss? We're just talking about canceled TV shows. Like, do you ever find that when you get really invested in a show, just to find out that it's been canceled? It's not bad. We've cut 3 out of our 5 pieces, I think. We're gonna cut this one too, even though we don't need it. Oh, they keep the history now? So you can go back in and see what you missed. Very good. Star Trek Discovery Season 5, Paramount Plus, canceled after a fifth and final season. Oh, that's annoying. I'm gonna go kick a wall. Oh no, don't go kick a wall. I'm like, are you kicking a wall because of the shows or because of all the emails that you're still having to get through? Or both? Both, yeah. Yep. Okay. Yeah, so this is going to be the belt, which theoretically we could do the belt version or we could do... By the way, so much IRL stuff has happened. Really? Do share. Well, I think last time we were speaking, your whole country had an election, right? So there was a lot going on. But yes, if there's other IRL stuff, do share. I'm like, yeah, we'll get into it over time, because I feel like I did so much in the last 3 weeks. But I don't want to just like word vomit all of it. It'll all come, you know. At least 100. That's good. Please share the 100. TLDR. No, not a problem. You can be as brief or as long as you want. Okay. We're just gonna keep cutting these pieces. No way! Is your partner expecting? No, really? That's incredible! If that's what I think it is, then congrats! Okay, well then, I don't know then. She does. Okay. Alright, I know you're an uncle. I know you are an uncle. I remember that happening and it being super, super exciting. So you're loving the uncle life. You're loving being a funkle. Funkle Probacus. Love to hear it. Excellent. Yeah. No, I'm glad. I'm glad you're loving being an uncle. Yeah, no problem. Don't overheat or pass out, please. We don't want any of that. But thank you so much for stopping by. I appreciate you. I missed you too. I hope to see you around more. Keep being your awesome, fabulous self and keep cool. I'll see you around. Right? No passing out, please. Not on our watch. He went on New York on me. Oh, yeah. I don't know what that was. That was some sort of... That was something. I pulled some kind of voice. Whether or not it has any discernible accent association, we don't know. So we're almost done this first page of pieces. So we're going to cut them all out. Election happened in democracy as well. Got over 80%, which is very good. Oh, that's good. Yeah. That's nice. I'm glad democracy was in favor that day. Central right. Yeah. You know, the second round. Okay. A second round of votes? Like they have to recount or they have to redo the election? Because that would suck. So yes, this page is done, and then we'll get the other page done, and then we can put the fan back on. Because luckily the fan doesn't come onto the table, so I think if all the pieces are on the table, then it'll be fine. I don't know if we'll actually get to redo the election with different electoral... Oh, wow. Hopefully that's not to try to swing the vote in a different direction. I assume it is. I feel like usually when there's a recall of an election, it's usually because one party is pissed off with what happened and they want to try to sway the voting into their favor. Switch from representational back to reinforced representational. Oh, okay. Oh, Peter Fasinelli and Keenan Lutz are also going to be here. And the other ones are... Oh. Yeah, so there's only the 3 of them? That must be a pretty small con if they don't have... Unless there's different ones. Because I know that, like, at least when I've been to Fan Expo in Toronto, there's, like, kind of 2 different levels where you have, like, your line up to get autograph meet and greet, or you have your, like, photo op meet and greet that's, like, in a big booth or something. You know what I mean? There's, like, different tiers to meet and greets. No, there are more guests. Oh, okay. Yeah. You'll know all the Twilight fans we meet. I mean, truly, truly. Absolutely. A switch. Oh, okay. If no government is made. Oh, okay. 41%. Right. Oh, gotcha. Giancarlo Esposito will be there as well. I'm ready for the remake, honestly. Yeah. I don't think I know who that is. That name sounds familiar, but not enough for me to be able to place it. I get what you mean, Probacus. So there needs to be a certain number of seats of representation from all the parties in order to make up the government. And if they don't get the seats, then they need to redo it to ensure that they have the even representation or the percentage representation that they want. Gotcha. Actually, you know what adaptation I'm excited for? I don't know when it's coming out, and I don't know if I'm gonna have access to it, but I'm hoping it's not shit. They're doing the live action Avatar: The Last Airbender remake. And they actually are casting kids, and they're casting, like, cultural and ethnicity representation. It's not just, like, a bunch of white people pretending to be indigenous, you know? So that'll be exciting, hopefully. I'm so ready for the Avatar show. Yeah, I'm excited about it. The other thing I'm excited for is the Barbie movie. I don't know if you guys are excited for the Barbie movie, but I think that's, like, it's the first time since, like, the Bob's Burgers movie that I've actually wanted to go and watch a movie in theaters. Yeah, the girl from the movie got her position bought by her dad. She's the one married to that Beckham. Oh. Oh, really? I didn't know that there was some, like, specific casting stuff. I'm sure there is. I'm sure there's, like, nepotism involved in it. Ah, yes, Noonday Pink! Absolutely. With a reinforced vote, the first party gets 50 bonus seats, so if we had an effect, we would be a government. Okay, which is unprecedented. Okay. Interesting. This is, like, you know, like, political science breakdown over here. Yeah, I'm excited about the Barbie movie. She apparently pushed her nanny down the stairs. Really? And that's all. So Barbie. Yeah, no, I'm excited about it. That's fine. So a lot has happened, and it sounds like more is to be happening for you, Probacus. But yeah, excited about the Barbie movie. I don't know what else. She pushed her nanny down the stairs. Damn. Do you mean Harper? Like, do you mean Posh and Beckham's kid? I didn't even think that they acted. I knew that the boys did all their stuff. Is that who you're talking about? Because that would be wild. I don't think I've ever seen her do any sort of acting or show any interest in any sort of celebrity stuff ever. Oh, Nicola. Yes, yes, yes. Right. Mm-hmm. Yeah, Nicola Peltz. Oh, interesting. Was she in Avatar? Was she in, like, the shitty one? Interesting. Okay, now we need to do some Googling now. Nicola Peltz Beckham. Oh, she was. She was Katara. Ooh, that's cringe. Oh, speaking of Twilight, Jackson Rathbone was Sokka. I never watched this movie. This is... Yee. Wow, I had no idea that was her. That's wild. Yeah, no, Nicola Peltz and Jason Rathbone are as white as they come. You're telling me that these are indigenous Inuit children? I think not. I think not. They said Aang's name wrong the whole time. No! I couldn't finish the movie. Yeah. It's not good. I don't think I've heard a single... That one, and what was the other one? When they did a Dragon Ball Z one as well. Yeah, he was in Twilight too. Jackson always looks like he shit his pants. It's true, he kind of just like perpetually shocked. And like uncomfortable all the time. It's true. Perpetually shocked and uncomfortable. Emmy Rossum was in that one? I do know there was some other guy. The guy who played Goku was like a prolific actor. Dragon Ball. Oh, where's the shitty one? See, IMDb is good to give me... Oh, Justin Chatwin. Dragon Ball Evolution. Oh my god, she was. Jamie Chung was in it. I think she's cool. But yeah, that's Emmy Rossum. I never would have guessed that. No. Nope, nope, nope. Nope. Nope, 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 nope. Nope, 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 nope. What character do they play? Because obviously Justin Chatwin is Goku. Piccolo is James Marsters. That's the guy who plays Spike and Buffy, right? Bulma? Emmy Rossum played Bulma? I guess that's why she has a pink streak or blue streak in her hair. Nope, nope, nope. Nope, nope, nope. None of this makes any sense. It makes no sense. Yeah, no. Absolutely not. Immediately no. I'm a Twilight meme group. Oh, really? Is brilliant. We take the piss out of Renesmee calling her anything, but as long as it starts with an R. The most popular one is rotisserie chicken. It's like Cumberbatch. Yes, absolutely. That's incredible. I love that. Little Miss Rotisserie Chicken. Yeah, Cumberbatch. Yeah, everyone just does that, and you know exactly who they're talking about. That's incredible. The name is so stupid. It is. It's like, I understand the logic of, like, we want to name them after both of our parents, but it's like, yeah, I'm sorry, give one of the parents the middle name, I guess. Like, my middle name is Leanna, and that's a combination of my great-grandparents' names, Lee and Anna, but, like, Leanna's actually a name in real life. You know what I mean? It's not, like, some made-up hyphenated shit. Like, that's actually a name that people can be called. So it worked, but Renesmee doesn't work. There's a, I wish, it's funny, because I think this is one of the things that if I still lived in Canada and, like, still lived in Toronto, I would absolutely be doing this, but there is a YouTuber that I follow named Carly Thorne, I think, and she's, like, an improv comedian as well as, like, a YouTuber and stuff, and so she's been doing these things in Toronto where they've been, doing Twilight rewatch events at like a big theater in Toronto, and they have like commentary. They kind of do it, I guess, in like Rocky Horror Picture Show style, where it's like interactive and you throw stuff about off the audience and all that kind of stuff. And I just think that would have been so cool to attend if I was still living in Canada. I definitely would have like made the effort to go. I actually should message my brother about them, because I feel like she does a lot of, like, stuff in Toronto. My brother doesn't live in Toronto, he lives in Guelph, but, like, he could make the journey in to see cool, funky comedy improv stuff. No! Is it? I forgot about that. Her middle name is Carly. A mix of Charlie and Carlisle. At least that's more of an actual name. It's spelt very interestingly, but I think I've met many Carlys, and all of them have been spelled completely differently. My last name is hard to spell for people when they hear it, so I don't want to replace the middle name with that. Right, yeah. Charlie was the best character in that book. It's true. He was, yeah. I feel like everyone's all really conflicted about that, because technically Charlie was a cop, and you know, like, ACAB. But everyone's like, but he's really, really hot. So people have conflicting feelings about him. I watched the Try Guys have the most unhinged episode where they rate TV daddies. And they were ranking them, and I think Charlie didn't get as far as they thought because he was a cop. He was also a cop, a white cop, who was in charge of patrolling indigenous land, so that was not okay. That was problematic as hell. But then also, too, then there was the argument because they also then were talking about Hopper from Stranger Things. And so they were like, well, if you're going to rank Charlie super low because he's a cop, you also have to rank Harper really low because he's a cop. But naturally, Pedro Pascal ended up winning the daddy tier list. It was a very unhinged and chaotic episode. But it was amusing to watch. That's like my comfort channel. Like when I just want to like watch some zany random bullshit, I'll put on a Try Guys video. And it just makes me feel good. That's fair. Pedro's daddy. Yeah. I've still not watched The Last of Us. I don't think all the episodes are available here. Though my father-in-law has downloaded all of them, so I could ask him for them, but we've just never gone around to it. Okay, so first page done. First page of tissues completed. Second page of tissues. I don't know if there's as many pieces on this guy. There's... The other thing, too, is there's like notches and stuff that we need to do. I don't know. There's like some instructions on here that we gotta read. Oh, there's only one piece on here, it looks like. That's helpful. That's nice. We're okay with that. That is less complicated. We still need to get over the table. There we go. Okay. Let's move the scraps on the floor because we don't need them. Okay, yeah, because now there's like instructions on the pattern pieces too, so I think we need to... Hopper in his Hawaiian shirt was doing a lot for me though. Fair. I've still not seen all... I think Liam and I stopped at season 2. And then we just drifted off. And it's this thing, it happens with everything that I consume that takes a long time for me to get through, is I'll start media and then I'll fall off it for whatever reason. It's same with video games, right? And it's like, when you pick up where you left off, do you pick up where you... Same with books. Do you pick up where you left off just to finish? But if you don't remember all the shit that happened previously, then do you need to go back and rewatch everything to get caught up in your brain? And then you have the potential risk of, again, falling off in the same area again, right? So it's complicated, you know? Okay. But yeah, so after we cut all these out, we're going to take a look at all of them. I like shows I can just binge and, yeah. If it's been, oh, that's fair. If it's been too long, I'll watch like a synopsis online. That's a good idea. Just to sort of like do a summary, like read sort of like the Wikipedia article about it just to get caught up to speed again. Reading a book is a different story. Yeah. You will just start over. Mm-hmm. Because there's a couple books that like I've tried to read a couple times now, and I don't know if that's just my brain being like, okay, then don't. Because one of my favorite movies growing up, still now, I guess it's still really good, is White Oleander. Even though I found out that Alison Lohman is like a crazy Republican now, which is, I was completely out of left field to me. But yeah, I really like that movie, and it's based off of a book, and so I bought the book, and I've been trying to read this book probably since high school. And I've still not finished it. I have half a mind to just like audiobook it, but I just bought Zoe's Extraordinary Playlist, and Chris is gonna watch it with me. Oh, amazing! That one was another one, at least I looked at it, it looked like a cool one. Is that one still going, or is that like a limited run thing? It's so funny because I read that, and even though I was reading something different, my brain instantly went to Nick and Nora's Infinite Playlist. I think because it had a name in the title and playlist, and I was just like, oh yeah, Nick and Nora, which was a book I loved, and I also loved the movie adaptation of that. It had 2 seasons, and oh, awesome. That's nice. That's nice when there's like a nice, cohesive conclusion to something like that. Amazing. So yeah, we have one more panel, and then we're gonna get all of the panels out, read what all of them say, because it looks like there's extra instructions on stuff, and then go from there. Because I don't know if there's anything else we have to do to the pattern, or if all the markings on the pattern are things that need to be transferred to the fabric. But yeah. We're making a dress. I will show you the pattern, or the finished product. So we're making this bad boy here. This guy. Out of this green fabric. My mom and my aunt picked it out for me because I have a hard time finding like dressmaking fabric here in the UK. So they have a place that they go and they know what to get, and so they picked this up. And also there's like interfacing and elastic and whatever. I've never made a dress before. I was saying the only experience I have with sewing is like I took a sewing class and learned how to make a quilt, but I quit the sewing class before I finished the quilt because I thought the teacher was mean. And then I helped my mom sew the sleeves on my like Renaissance princess Halloween costume one year. Yeah. That's what I'm hoping, because I'm hoping that I'll wear it, even though it's a simple pattern, I'm hoping that it will look elegant and formal enough that I can wear it to a formal wedding. Because the other reason I wanted the green is because I got little mushroom earrings for my birthday. And so I wanted to get like an emerald green, forest green dress that I could then wear the mushrooms with, but it still be formal, you know? So I'm hoping that I will achieve that with this. That is the goal. But yeah, but I've never, so yeah, basically I got this pattern and then I knew that my parents were coming to visit and my aunt, and I was like, oh, maybe you guys can help me with it. But I didn't realize that I thought they were only going to be in Italy for a week, but they're actually gone for 2 weeks. So I've decided that I'm going to stream hopefully the entire process. And that means we'll have 3 or 6 stream days. And so I'm hoping if this is simple enough, I can get it done in 6 streams. And then by the time my parents get home, my mom can then assess the handiwork and potentially help me fix things if I mess it up. Because I don't know if we know any other, like, my mom is the only person I know in my family, I guess, again, besides my aunt and my grandma, but the person who's most accessible to me in terms of helping me with this kind of stuff. I don't know if we have, like, if anyone in our, like, UK family, I don't know if I know any, like, avid sewers. You know what I mean? Like, we're all a bunch of crafty people. Like, everyone's very crafty, but I think in different ways. Like, with, like, either with art or with woodworking or with textiles. To be fair, my brother-in-law sews, but I don't know if he follows patterns. Maybe he does. But yeah, he would be the next person that I could consult. So that's true. I need to remember that. I also have him. If I don't finish this before my mom leaves and I have problems, I can consult him. But I have faith in us, you guys. We can do this. And again, I don't know, I still think I'm probably leaving too large of a seam allowance around these, but I feel like I better to have more than not enough, right? Because we can always cut fabric down, but we cannot add fabric back. So to ensure that, we are cutting it larger than needed for that exact reason. Down to 131. Amazing. Oh, that's so good. That's better than 300 some. Excellent. It still feels like a lot, but it seems like you're on the home stretch. You know what I mean? You're less than half. You have less than half, which is good. My Natasha Lum, that's fair. I think some, you know, replenishing the brain and the energy levels will probably help. Then you'll like blast through them, you know what I mean? Warp speed. I started a book this morning and the main girl is named Hadley, and I don't know if I can look past the spelling of her name to read the book. Do you think it's meant to be Haley, but it's Hadley. That's interesting. You might just have to, like, give her a new name in your brain, and every time you see that name, it just auto-corrects in your brain to something different. Hadley. Oh, interesting. It's a very Mormon name. Oh, okay. Yeah. It's just meant, yeah, it's spelt very, like... Would it normally be spelt, like, L-E-Y? Yeah. I knew a girl named Haley whose name was spelt like that, with the lay part of it. The L-E-I-G-H. That's why Renesmee is that way. Right! That makes a lot of sense. Mm-hmm. Yeah, I remember us talking about her very Mormon upbringing. I don't know, any of the names that are spelt like that also give me, like, do you remember there was a meme going around online? It's sort of like the stereotypical, like, autumn girl. So the one who wears, like, her Ugg boots and the infinity scarf and the really long flowing curly hair, who gets her, like, cold brew and does, like, that sort of stuff. I picture all of those girls having names that end in L-E-I-G-H. I just, like, really superfluous, like, and very southern. That was, like, a whole meme for a minute. Yeah! Kinley. Right? Kinley, Tenley. What else? Annalie. Chrisley. And it's always Lay, right? Be Chrisley. Yeah, Madison. Ashley. It also kind of gives very, like sorority girl as well. Some of those names. Look at me for myself because yeah, that's true. Yeah. No. You're not, yeah, let's not double every single letter in your name. It's true. No. There are more offensive ways to spell your name. Like I said, I grew up with, knowing multiple Carlys, and all of them were spelled different. But thankfully, they were never Carlay. There were only 4 ways in which Y at the... Yeah! Mm-hmm. Has your name been, like, chronically misspelled your whole life? That's one of the things where, like, I don't know, I respect parents who want to give their kids a unique name, and if they don't want to give them a unique name, they want it spelled uniquely. But then you have the issue of never being able to find, you know, one of those name charms when you're a kid. You go to, like, Disney World or something, and it'll be, like, the keychain with your name on it, and you can never find your name. Because your parents decided to spell, you have a normal name, but they decided to spell it weird, and now you can't find a keychain with your name on it. That used to devastate me as a child. And my name's not even that, like, unique, really. Yeah, exactly. You never got the personalized stuff. So there was always a Natalie. I think there was maybe like 1 or 2 times where I was able to find a Natasha. But it was usually Natalie that I found on those. I could never find my name. I could never find my brother's name. And also, too, because my brother's name is Victor, but it's spelt the Ukrainian way with a K instead of a C. So even if you could find Victor, you would find it usually spelled with a C. But yeah, I don't know, like as a child, that was a big deal to not be able to find your personalized keychain at the gift shop. It was very traumatic. It was not nice, not a fun time. My sister couldn't either. Her name is Kista. Oh, wow. Yeah. Yeah, they just don't exist. Definitely. I'm sure it's like you would have to get maybe a Krista and then like scratch out the R. It was my WoW name for a long time because no one had heard of it, and then people kept stealing it on all the servers. No! Oh, did you? You also stole that name from her. That's so funny. Does your sister play WoW as well? Or is it because she wasn't playing those things that you could then steal the usernames for her for the stuff that you were playing? Yeah, she never played it. Yeah. She was like, why the hell is your TikTok my old username? That's so funny. I love that. You're like, because it was clever and I wanted it. We're gonna finish cutting this out, then we're gonna read all of the things on the patterns and figure out if we need to do anything else with the pattern pieces or if the next step is the fabric, which I definitely think needs to be ironed. I don't know if we'll have time to do that today. Maybe we will. We'll see. I have to go find the iron upstairs. We'll also read the rest of the instructions too, because I think at one point it also tells you how you need to like fold the fabric so you're able to cut like basically like the front and back pieces are going to be doubled, so you have to place them on a fold so that when you unfold them it's the same on both sides, that sort of a thing. Oh, she had it for her live journal. Amazing. Absolutely. At this point, it's totally your username. Absolutely. Oh, she had a live journal? That's incredible. I never had... It was one of those where I couldn't even write in a regular journal consistently, let alone an online journal. I loved the idea of it, like, of journaling and whatever, and then every time I would go to do it, then I would just... It would fall off. I'm not. I had one too. No one will see it. Yeah, I think we talked about these. Didn't you go and like revisit some of your journal entries and you were like, wow. But the thing is, right, like everyone had those journals and live journals and stuff when they were like, I don't know, from like 9 to maybe like 14. And those are our cringiest years. You know what I mean? Like we're all just trying to figure stuff out. We're trying to forge our identity. We're trying to, hormones are getting involved. We're learning how to exist in the world outside of just being like a child of our parents. You know what I mean? So, like, if anyone didn't have a cringy live journal during that time, I would think that they were like a robot or something. Because there's nobody who just has a cringe-free youth. You know what I mean? I'm like, that person's not a real person. Yeah, I think 1490 was, yeah. Exactly. And then God forbid like somebody gets famous during that time as well. I'm like, yeah, people need to be able, like, I feel like having a cringy moment in your life is like, it's part of growing up. And you look back on it and you go, damn, that was real cringe. But like at the time, you thought you were the coolest thing in the world. You know what I mean? Or the most important, or the most intelligent, or the most whatever. And kids are allowed to have that. I think we gotta be kinder to our younger selves. At least I know I do. One of the things that my parents did, like one of the things we had at our, like playing in the background of our reception, was old childhood photos of myself and Liam. So my parents brought like, I think like 150 photos of like childhood photos and stuff. And I was going through some of them. And one of them was a photo of when we went to Mexico for Christmas when I was in like the 6th grade. And you know, whenever somebody goes to like a warm destination, you have to get the like chunky twisty braids in your hair that are like kind of borderline cultural appropriation, if not full cultural appropriation at moments. And so, but I had those, but I didn't have my whole head, thank God. But I had 2 braids on either side of my head, and I also had braces at the time, and I also had really bad acne. So I was like, damn, like this is cringy. But then my parents were like, why is it cringe? It's just a normal photo of you. And I was like, yeah, but this is like peak teenagedom right now. I'm like, I have the braces, I have the acne, I have the like tacky tourist braids. Like it was just a lot. Yeah. Yeah, they do it because they tie them pretty tight. So yeah, they can like give you a headache, I think. Okay. So this is the back piece. This is piece number... Okay. Piece number 2. This is... It was like embroidered. Yeah, they're really thick too. Yes, yeah, where they wrapped your hair. Yeah, where it's almost like, yeah, it's like they use thread and then they just like color a pattern of yarn around it. I had that too. 4. Okay. So this is the front piece. This is the back piece. Okay, so there's piece number 1, piece number 2. Let's put this here. Piece number 4. So piece number 4 is the belt, which I don't think we're going to be doing because we're going to be doing the elastic waistband instead. And then there's number 3, which is the drawstring for the neck. Okay. So these are all of our pieces. Cool. So let's read what all of these things say. So this is center front on fold. Okay, so this is the side that we need to fold on. I got that. I'll have to figure out what these little darties are. I think that is indicated on here. And then this is our glossary of terms down here, but none of them tell me what they mean. So we got waistline, upper edge, underskirt, underlining, underdress, under bodice, tuck, stretch, stitching line, stiffening, slash, shoulder, seam, roll line, roll right, pleat, placement line, lower edge. Okay, all this doesn't seem necessary for me to know right now. Yeah, no problem. Go heat up your lunch. Get some more sauce if you need it. Okay. So, preparing the pattern. This is what we need to make sure we notice. Okay, so there's like a little circle with a line through it that's indicated here. Don't know if you guys can see that, but apparently that indicates a bust line, waistline, or biceps. Right. So there's bust line, waistline. I don't know bicep. Measurements refer to circumference of finished garment. Body measurement plus wearing ease and design ease. Adjust the pattern if necessary. Right. Lengthen or shorten at the adjustment lines. Right. So there's these double lines here. And if we decide that we want to shorten or lengthen different components of the pattern, aka like if we have longer torso or shorter torso, we would do that then. Also here, or like at the bottom for the hems as well. And I think we will need to shorten the hem quite a bit. Lengthen or shorten here. So there's lengthen and shorten sections. Gotcha. To lengthen, slash between adjustment lines. I don't know what that would mean. Slash to me just means cut. Maybe that's not what that means, but we'll see. Okay. Slash between adjustment lines. Spread amount as needed, keeping the edges parallel. I know what that means. Oh, okay. Gotcha. So when we're putting the pattern on the fabric, if we want to lengthen it, we then cut it and then move it and try to keep it parallel. And then if we want to shorten it, we have to fold over the pattern. Same thing. Gotcha. So this is for putting the pattern on the fabric. Okay. Transfer all of the tissue markings to the fabric before removing the pattern. Markings needed on the right side of the fabric should be thread traced. Oh, okay. So on the right side, so there's a right side and a wrong side. So they don't mean right and left, I'm pretty sure. I think they mean right and wrong, as the right side being the fabric that's going to be shown to the world, and the wrong side is like the inside of the fabric, inside of the dress. So the things that are going to be on the right side, we don't want to mark up because it's gonna look bad, or we need to then wash it later. So they recommend, what was it? Should be thread traced. So I assume that means taking a bit of thread and pulling it through to mark stuff. Okay. So there's seam lines. Oh God. 5/8 of an inch or 15 millimeters from cut edge unless otherwise indicated. Okay. I think that's these like notches along here. Yeah. Because that's the cut edge, and then this is the fold edge, I'm assuming. This is the fold edge. So those are the cut edges. So the seam lines need to be marked. Button marking is indicated with X's. I don't think there's any buttons on here. Not that I can see. Buttonhole marking. Again, I don't think there's any buttons. Symbols for matching seams and construction detail. I see, I see. Okay. So when we go to stitch them together, there's components that we want to be lining up. So there's like circles, squares, whatever. So there's like little circles along here. So I need to make sure that those two things match up to match the seams. Okay. Interesting. See, now, like, looking at this, I'm wondering if maybe I didn't need a seam allowance, if this is the seam allowance. No, it wouldn't be. Okay, never mind. Let's not overthink things. Okay. Yes, centers, fold lines, placement lines are clearly marked. Thread trace if desired. Okay. I can see why people use, what was it, that like tracing carbon paper thing that we don't have. Because then you, like, I think you put that in between the fabric and the pattern, and then you trace over it, and then it leaves a transfer, as opposed to what we're gonna have to do, which is like lay it down and then lift the individual components that we need to in order to like draw the thing on it. So that's gonna be a little bit complicated, but it should be fine. Okay. So these are the hems. There's a fold line. Okay. Don't know what that means. All right. So, okay, you're back. Excellent. Did you need more sauce or are you good? Okay. So now we've cut up all the pieces. Let's now consult the next steps here. That's in Spanish. We do not need the Spanish. Okay. Right. So, we've done this. Next is the pattern markings. So they explained the solid lines are fold lines, placement lines, and waist lines. Broken lines with dots, okay, indicate cutting lines for the different views. All right. I'm assuming the different views means the different sizes. Perhaps. Ooh, threw some BBQ on it. That was a good idea. That was a good call. Okay. Lines with arrows attached are grain lines. Okay. Double solid lines are lengthened and shortened lines. Those I understand. Dress pattern pieces can also be lengthened or shortened at the lower edge. Following symbols are notches, small and large circles. Okay. Right, so fold lines, cut on the fold, triple notches, double notches, lengthen or shorten, cut here for A and B, we don't need that, cut here for C and D, we did that, we can lengthen or shorten here. These are large circles that show you when to stitch up. This is a grain line. I don't know what a grain line is. Do we need to do some Googling? Maybe. I think we can sit down now for a minute. Okay, let's sit. Okay. Ugh. Right. Let's sit and do some Googling. Because... Okay. So how much time do we have left? We got like 15 minutes. So I don't know if that's enough time. It might be enough time to get the iron out. We'll see. We'll also see if it needs to be ironed. It probably needs to be ironed. Anyway, let's look up what a grain line is. Even different views. What does different views on pattern on dress pattern mean? Yeah, what does view on a sewing pattern mean? Viewing a sewing pattern means looking at the Okay, that's dumb. Oh, the style variations are called views. Right, that makes sense. Okay, so that's like I said, the different styles. Okay, not the sizes then. The different styles. So the showing you the hems for like A, B, and C dress. Those are views. Okay. Understand now. We should write some of this shit on here so we don't forget. Let's use this funky unicorn pen. There we go. Okay. So, for my brain, views. So, these. Views. AKA different dress variations. Okay. That makes sense. Now we need to find out what a grain line is. Grain lines. Grain line sewing pattern. No. Grain line meaning. Grain line is essentially the weave of fabric, which direction the threads are running. Okay. So the grain line helps you align the pattern on the fabric. Helps guide you on where to place sewing patterns on woven fabrics. Okay. Right. So a grain line. So I guess it's a straight grain? Because the fabric selvage edge. I assume that's the fluffy edge. The selvage edge. And so straight grain means like straight up and down either side, I guess. Okay. The directional weave of the fabric. Okay. Grain line. Directional weave of fabric. Okay, so let's see. I wish I could help you, honestly, right? This is like learning a different language. So let's get this out just so we can see what this means. So I'm assuming these like floofy sides here, those are the selvage lines. I'm thinking. So if that's the case and we're doing a straight grain line, according to this image, that means that we need to make sure that the dress is running this way on the fabric. I think. Okay. Maybe. Alright. So, they can also be lengthened or shortened at the lower edge. Following symbols, notches. The following are symbols. Yeah, not just small, large, but what do they mean? Yeah. Right. So to shorten, use a ruler, measure up from the lower edge and mark the determined amount you want to shorten the pattern. Connect the marks. This will be the new cutting line. Yeah. Okay. See, because I thought I was just going to follow the medium-sized pattern, but I guess I need to measure myself, like in terms of length and things. But I'm also wondering, can I do that? I don't know. Can I do that after I've cut it out? I guess I can't really. Because you can't, because it's like one piece, so I can't shorten it after the fact. Okay. Anyways, let's move on. Okay, layouts. The good idea is to wash and pre-treat your fabric. Mom said I didn't have to. Circle the layout for the view, size, and width of fabric you're using. How do I know which layout I'm meant to use? Fold the pattern in the layout. Okay, well where do you tell me the layouts? Eh? Ah, here we go. Cutting layouts. The right side of the pattern, wrong side of the fabric. Right side of the fabric, wrong side of the fabric. Okay. Okay. Alright. Dress A, dress B, dress and belt C, dress D. Okay, so this is the thing we need. So we need to fold. And they don't want us to fold that one. Okay. Okay. So let me Google what selvage is. I assume it's the frilly sides of each of the pattern pieces. Selvage. Meaning the edge of woven fabric during manufacturing that prevents the unraveling. Excellent. That's what these are. Okay. Cool. All right. Okay. Read the instructions through before beginning. With extra wide bobbins at the machine, blah, blah, blah. Sewing seams. 1.5 centimeter allowance for all seams unless otherwise indicated. Mark the seam allowances on your piece for ease and accuracy of sewing. See, I still don't know if the pattern has already given me seam allowances or if I have to make them myself. You know what I mean? That I'm not sure about. So we've cut them close to the marked lines for your size and length, leaving a tissue margin. Yeah, so we left the tissue margin. The texture of my lunch was incredibly off. No! Oh, that's so frustrating. Most sewing patterns include seam allowances. A few don't. They're adding edges to each pattern piece. Okay. Interesting. Would it indicate, though, on the pattern if it's a seam allowance or if it's, like, what the edge of the fabric is meant to be? You know what I mean? I would assume it would indicate that. Okay, so once we do the layouts, cool. Transfer markings on pattern tissue to the fabric piece before removing the tissue. Good idea to use your tissue pinned to your fabric until you are ready to sew. Yes. Follow the instructions below to transfer markings on the pattern to the fabric pieces. You could do notches. Oh, for the notches, make a tiny clip at the notch, marking no more than 1/8 into the seam allowance, instead of cutting out the shape of the notch. Note for clarity, illustrations of instructions show the notches being cut out. Okay. So we don't have to cut out the notch. We just do a little bit in there. Symbols. Poke through the tissue with a pin at the symbols. Lift the tissue and mark with a water-soluble pen or marking pencil at the pin. Or mark a symbol with the cross using a washable carbon. Yes. Okay. Stitching and fold lines. Use washable carbon paper and tracing wheel. We're not going to do that. Trace the lines and fold lines to the fabric. After cutting out the pieces, label them on the wrong side of the fabric with tape. That will help keep track of the pieces to distinguish the right and wrong sides of the fabric where both sides look the same. Okay. Is it a commercial pattern? Yeah, I assume so. Like a readily, like it's, yeah. So it must, eh? Right. That's a good idea. To McCall's patterns include seam allowances. This pattern, oh, how do I know if my pattern includes a seam allowance? Sewing patterns tell you. Okay, well, how? It seems to be the specific pattern, so maybe I have to look up. To McCall pattern M7405. Must include. Oh, there's a YouTube video someone made about this exact pattern. Maybe we ought to watch that. Maybe if I watch that, it'll make more sense to me. Okay. It seems like, yeah, like how would I know? Regarding the seam allowance, does this mean I have to, after I cut out my size of the pattern, that I add another to the edges? Does it mean that I cut out and then measure in and that's what it is? Okay. Regarding your seam allowance in McCall's patterns, your 1/8 seam allowance is included. This means that you cut out your size and the seam line will be this inside the cut edge. Okay. Check your measurements against the pattern and fit the tissue before cutting your fabric. Make sure the, okay. Okay, so it seems like it. Most American patterns include a seam allowance. If you see the pattern pieces, you will see a broken line to represent where you stitch. Okay. Okay. Interesting. Yeah, the pattern for McCall's do include a sewing allowance of 5/8 inches. I think that's like a 1/4 inch. I'm not sure. Which means you sew from that cut edge. That you sew away from the cut edge. Okay. Yeah, it has several cut lines and no printed seam lines. So I never cut the original pattern. Okay. It seems like yes, but I'm not convinced. I'm not convinced. Okay. Interesting. Okay. Well, we've reached the end of the stream day, friends. So, I have to do a bit of digging on my end, but I think what I'll do off stream is I'll actually measure myself against what these are and then sort of go from there in terms of like, because we've cut out the pattern pieces, but I think we might need to measure as well just to make sure that we have the right proportions or dimensions or whatever. Those people make pattern with cheap fabric. Yeah, that's true. That's true. That's probably a good idea. Yeah. So yeah, measure those things. Figure out if I need to cut. I'll probably ask my mom. I'll be like, yo, do I need to cut specifically to this, or is the seam allowance already included? She might be able to tell me. And then, yeah, Thursday, hopefully, we will iron the fabric, and then we will start pinning and marking up according to this fold pattern here. This guy. But it looks like not all of them we do this for. So that will be interesting. With or without nap? So you gotta do more Googling. Okay. If anyone has any raid suggestions, let me know, or else we will just go and see who's online currently. Let's pull them up. But yeah, it might be worth doing a mock-up first and then going from there. But that seems like extra work, and I don't know if I'm gonna do that, if I'm being honest. Damn, all the friends are online. Sorry, you guys are so far away. I'm like squinting to see what's going on. And my Twitch is frozen. I wanna see who my friends are. What's Saul doing? I feel like we should go and see him. Yeah, fuck it. Let's just go see Saul. Let's keep it simple. Let's go see one of the homies. And then we will dive in to others on Thursday. Everything's just taking a while to load. Make sure he's muted. Yeah, he's muted. Okay. Cool. Right. Can I do this from here? Here we go. Perfect. Thanks, you two. Thank you guys so much for stopping by. It's been so much fun. Oops, I want to make sure I've copied that properly. But yeah, hopefully, again, we'll be back here on Thursday doing more stuff. We'll see how it goes. Like I said, I have to do a bit of research and consult my mother on what all of these crazy terms mean. And then, yeah, hopefully tomorrow we will be cutting, making pieces. And then, yeah, I don't know if we'll be sewing by Friday. That would be wild. That would be wild if we started sewing on Friday. I'm not convinced that that will happen, but we will do what we can. But I'll see you guys later. Talk to you soon. Bye!